So Lu Shao, he says you cannot recognize a quality in another that you do not have in yourself. And I was thinking about this in terms of problems. And, the question is, could you see a problem for which you don't already see some kind of solution to that problem? Is it the case that solutions to problems actually precede the problem, or that most people are unable to see the problem for the problem that it is because they're unwilling to entertain themselves as part of the problem that they're seeing? Um, it's as if we shouldn't ask, what is the problem? I think if somebody starts to ask, what is the problem, with regard to anything, they may already be off track, only because a better way to start is to ask, where is the problem? I think, Lee Thayer used to say provocatively that all problems come on two legs. Yeah, all problems come on two legs. That it's never what is the problem, it's who's having what problem. There aren't just problems just in the world. There's only just states of affairs. I mean, states of affairs just are whatever they are. A problem, an identifiable problem, is only some person who imagines some desirable alternative state of affairs, and they are able to project the problematicness of the problem. I mean, death isn't a problem. Death appears like a problem because someone's having a problem with it. I mean, yes, that probably sounds crazy, but that is the deal. That if we want to understand problems, we need to understand where problems are, and problems just aren't in the world. All problems are known by those people who are having, quotes, the problems. Now, rather than just talk about, what is a problem, I'd rather talk about the way that people think about the problems that they're having, and what are the preconceived notions of solutions that are maybe limiting people's orientations or strategies when they're thinking about how to solve some of the problems that they're facing. I think one of the main problems is that people tend to think of problems as something out in the world that are there that are to be gotten rid of. It's like there's a thing out there and you're going to remove the problem. And if you get rid of the problem, you will have taken care of it. But the more that we understand that reality is a huge collection of concatenated states of events and ongoing relation states, the more that we realize that you never ultimately get rid of relation states. All you do is change relation states from one state to another, which means that every problem that you solve creates its own set of new problems. There's always a sort of cycle or chain of problems going on and on. Now, that doesn't mean, oh, let's all be sad about that. The question becomes, what kind of problems do I want to create as a result of solving the problems that I'm going to solve? Right? I mean, you want to get in the problem creating business, right? To try to pick the problems that you're going to create. Now, one one last thing to say about this is that uh, oftentimes the struggle in solving a problem is recognizing ourselves as part of the what we don't want to see as part of the problem. It's as if we take for granted ourselves as we are, and we want to change the state of affairs without inconveniencing ourselves and or changing ourselves. But I think the struggle is to see in so many of the problems that we see around us ourselves as implicated in them. Whether these are national health problems, whether they're problems of global warming, whether they're problems of social justice, all of these things aren't just problems out there, they're independent of us. And many times I think it's as if we don't want to realize that it is oftentimes far easier to solve a problem than to know what it is. But there we'd have to own up to the responsibility of being people who are going to be the people who have maybe named the problem in terms of those solutions that help own the responsibility